Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Chris coming at you with another video for you guys today. And today it is another race reaction video. And today we are talking about the Richmond playoff race, which just occurred Saturday night. I gotta say, I was really impressed with the racing that I saw through the race rewind. It just wasn't. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of passing, and I mean, Joe Gets Racing basically pretty much dominated this race. But yeah, there just wasn't that great racing. Not a whole lot of passing. Yeah, Richmond's just one of those tracks that, you know. So for this second playoff race, I wasn't really all that impressed. Actually did end up rating higher than Eric Estepa on Las Vegas because I thought the Las Vegas race was really good. So I rated it higher than he did. So yeah, but yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the racing. I want to talk more about things that happen in the race and where drivers stand in terms of the playoff. In terms of the playoff standings. So, Truex won stage 1, Kyle Busch won stage 2, and Truex ultimately won the race. So some things that happened in the race, we had, Bowman got bumped by Austin Dillon, and I think it was intentional because there was a little collision, going into turn 1, so Austin Dillon bumped him, and ultimately that hurt Bowman's racing performance. And then Stenhouse sent Truex for a spin. Not really his fault. Truex is just kind of right in the way, and it completely was not Stenhouse's fault. It was definitely not intentional. But Truex was able to bounce back and win the race. From that, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So the main battle was between Kyle Busch and Truex, and you know, they were making contact and just going at it the majority of the race. Keselowski was really the only one that did well for Penske Racing, but I mean, Logano just finished outside the top 10, so I guess that's not too terrible. Ryan Blaney didn't have the greatest finish. Hendrick Motorsports had an okay night per se, but really only Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson did well. Unfortunately, William Byron and Alex Bowman had bad days, so that was very unfortunate for them, especially for Alex Bowman and William Byron. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Stewart Haas Racing, obviously three out of their 4 cars made it, but Bowyer and Almirola are now in trouble. And again, we'll talk about the bubble watch in a little bit because that's very important going out of this race. Ryan Newman, he got the finish he needed, and ultimately he had a really good night, and it was the night he needed. And honestly, if he has a great race at the Roval next week, he will very much be locked into the round of 12. So Truex obviously won the second race in a row for the playoffs, so Truex now has the most wins out of his teammates. So Truex is once again proving that he may be a championship favorite going forward here. Roush Fenway, obviously, actually Newman and Stenhouse finished within the top 15, so that's pretty good for them. Chip Ganassi Racing, well, Kyle Larson had a solid day, but unfortunately Kurt Busch didn't have the best of finishes, and he is still in jeopardy. So not good for the one team. Yeah, I had high hopes for Kurt Busch. I mean, he's had a really fantastic season, but I don't know, he may be eliminated early. Now let's talk about the playoff situation. So there are multiple drivers on the bubble, and really not much of a gap. So Blaney, Almirola, Byron, Bowman, and Bowyer are all within striking distance to knock. Are all within are all within contention or being eliminated from the playoffs, especially Byron and Bowman. They're like so close to each other. So, yeah, this could be interesting how it turns out at the Roval next week. Yeah, it'll be very interesting how this one turns out. But yeah, it should be a very interesting race next week at the Roval, especially with the bubble situation. Chase Elliott really has nothing to worry about. I mean, he had a really good finish at Vegas last week. And, 13th isn't too bad for Chase Elliott, so I'm not really worried about Chase Elliott. So Chase Elliott will definitely be moving on to the next round, and I'm not too worried about that. And if Newman has another solid performance, he will be well on his way to the round of 12 as well. My predictions of who's going to get eliminated from the Roval, I would have to say it's going to end up being Bowman, Boyer, Eric Jones, and Almirola. Nice. So Alex Bowman hasn't really had the best of seasons. I think William Byron has had a lot of much better runs than Bowman. So I think Byron has better odds of making it into the round of 12. Almirola, not really that consistent this year. In all honesty, same with Clint Boyer. I mean, he's just had it rough. And then Eric Jones. I mean, I'm sure he could pull one out, but I just don't see it happening really. Ryan Blaney, he'll definitely advance. He actually won at the Roval last year, so I'm not worried about Ryan Blaney. I think he's definitely going to advance. He's obviously very good at the Roval, so I'm not too worried about him. William Byron, despite getting involved in a wreck last year, I think William Byron will turn it around at the Roval this year, and William Byron will advance. So yeah, that's my opinion on what will happen at the Roval next week. Anyway, you guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Oh, by the way, before I go, I'm gonna give this race a 65 out of 100, higher than what Eric separated. The restarts were nuts. The racing was all that great, and plus with all the drama and everything else, I thought it was like a slightly above average race. Slightly above average race for me. The racing overall wasn't that great, but I mean, with all the drama and the crazy restarts, like, it turned out to be a slightly above average race. Anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it for you guys today. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace out and have a good rest of your day.